Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I'm, of course, Jimmy, and we're proudly sponsored by Action Coach Sheffield. We're also sponsored for this 90 after 90 by VMB Auto Centres. Keep it tuned for some more information on our sponsors as we move forward into the closed season. Thank you to them for sponsoring the channel. Thank you for everybody's support throughout the season, because that's it done. The season is over, and I'm in a bit of a quandary here. I'm in a bit of I don't know what to do. I feel relieved that the season's over. That's my overriding emotion. It don't quite sit right with me celebrating the fact that we've been relegated. So if I appear chirpy or happy or whatever it might be, we've finished bottom of the league. Chris Wilder would be outraged with me for being so chipper at the moment, because we should rightly be disappointed and embarrassed to a degree. But ultimately, I think we've understood as a fan base, or the majority of the fan base, because I can never speak for everybody, but the people I speak to understand that we're turning up to a gunfight with a water pistol in terms of the squad build that we did in the summer. We were very conservative with our cash on the field. I appreciate a lot of money and resources got into the infrastructure of the club, and I think we'll be better off in the future for it. I think as a long-term plan, we're going to be in a much better position from being in the Premier League, and that's been a decision of the owner and the board, and I support that for the long-term strategy. I think, though, as a fan base, we've realised for some time that we haven't been good enough for this league. And even the Sheffield United spirit, which is something that we're always so proud of, has been shattered to a degree on the field anyway. It's gone from battling performances and being, just sort of squeaked out in certain games to being heavily beaten by most teams. And then once one goal goes in, heads go down and it becomes 2, 3, 4, and you quickly become a laughing stock. And it's been horrendous. So that is where the relief comes in for me. It's a relief, and there's so many other feelings involved as well, because it's not just about the result today. And look, if you want to talk about the game today, we can. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what this whole setup is about. It's after we talk for 90 minutes about the game that's just gone 90 minutes. But obviously, being the end of the season, it's bittersweet. It's strange, because we also said goodbye to 3 club legends today. It's billed as 5, and I talked about this on the warm-up, and I don't mean to diminish anybody's contributions when I talk about it being 3 legends, but some could stretch it to 4 with Wes, and he played very well again today. Wes in parts, I can't say any other. But yeah, saying goodbye to Norwood and Georgie Baldock and Bash, it were tough today. It was quite emotional, weren't it? And yeah, we'd been for a beer beforehand, so you're already in the swing of things and loosened up a little bit, aren't you? So yeah, tough day in some ways, but sort of a break, sort of an ending of an era, and it feels like moving on now. Now we look to a fresh page. That's the title of today. It's over, and so it begins, or now it begins, whatever it might be, however I've styled it out. Because that's how it feels. It feels like it is a hard stop for Sheffield United now. And, what was that Jebison's last game for United? Is that why he got brought on? Maybe. Do you read anything into Ollie McBurney not coming off the bench when it would have, if he's not going to sign a contract, that would have been his last performance? Does that mean he's probably with us next year? I mean, Dad thinks it's probably leaning towards him not being with us next year, but I would say it probably leans towards him being here. It's all guesswork, isn't it? And I assume a lot of it is up in the air. I was surprised that Norwood wasn't in the match day squad. I didn't expect him to start by any means, but he was fit to play and wasn't involved at all because they obviously wanted to involve him in parading around the field and sort of, I suppose, taking the pressure off him and just letting him enjoy the occasion rather than have to get his game face on. But yeah, just really interesting. I thought Max Lowe quite subdued in terms of he could have got he got subbed off knowing it's his last ever appearance for the club, and he walked around the in front of the Tottenham fans rather than in front of the Sheffield United fans. I didn't know whether that was by design or whether it was just the way he sort of came off, but I didn't know whether he was sort of trying to keep himself under the radar a little bit, which is fine because, you know, he's certainly not a villain or anything like that to the fan base. But yeah, Ben Burton Diaz getting a great reception. Cameron Archer came off. Obviously, that'll be his last appearance for Sheffield United. Huge turnover of players. Miant Sal was saying, if you look at the team now, how many of these will be here next season? Because I think what Wilder's doing is he's bringing on players that are going to be here next season. And you look through them, and actually, I don't know if they will. I don't think Anel will be here next season. I don't think Sousa will be here next season. They might be contracted to us, a lot of them. I don't think they'll be here, all of them, necessarily. So, yeah, big changes to come. And how do you feel about it? Who do you want to keep out of those that are still in and are in? I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether you'd go for a lot of them. So, we'll see. We'll see how we get on. Let's get into some of your comments anyway. So, Lucas starts us off. What's the difference between a bow and arrow and a Cameron Archer bow and arrow? And Cameron Archer, a bow and arrow can shoot. Wow. Blocked. I'm only kidding. He didn't have the best of games, did he? Cam. Well, it's not worked, has it? Let's be right. And now we're getting some stick from lads around me. And I understand that because I've been banging the drum about Cameron Archer before he came to United. And I still think there's a player in there. I would probably go so far as to say that most of us, or certainly at least half of us, would probably take him in the Championship. So I still think there's a player in there. It's not worked for whatever reason. I could give you reasons, but we'll get to comments before I do. Being very, very worried about where this club is going. This season has been it has been an embarrassment. There's very few positive stories coming out about the club. In an ideal world for me, Wilder would go. Wow, strong Bean. Strong from you, mate. Very few positive stories coming out about the club. Well, I know, but sometimes it's a culmination. Wilder's gone very strong in I've just watched his post-match before I came on. And he's gone strong again, saying, you know, we haven't got the mentality, or some of the players in this squad have not got the mentality to play at this level. He talked about Anel. He says, my right centre-half's gone marauding up the pitch, and I don't know what we're thinking. I'm scratching my head. That doesn't bode well for me in terms of Anel's future at the club. And he again sort of said, we're going to get players in that know what it's like to play for Sheffield United. And I think he's planning a complete clear out, if I'm honest. Daz Kirkham, thank the Lord. It's over. Felt like a lifetime. Can't wait for next season and rip up the Championship. Well, how about that for two contrasting views? Up the Ramble, up the Blades. Top man. Thank you, mate. He wouldn't keep his job at any other club, says Bean. If you're a decent player and Wilder calls you this summer, I don't think you answer. The squad we currently have is garbage. I think we've got some gems in our squad, if I'm honest. I think you look at Ollie Arblaster and Hamer are the two that stand out that you would build the team around. I think John Egan coming back is a huge bonus for us. I think there is some there. We've obviously got some really strong youth prospects. Whether they're going to be ready or not, I'm not entirely sure. But I think we've got a bit of a nucleus there of players to build around. But there's so much work to do. I'm not trying to sort of push back against your point, really. In terms of Wilder not keeping his job, I think whoever took this job would have struggled with this team, if I'm honest. And I'm a Wilder backer, as you all know, but I think at least give him a chance with players that he would like in and like to build around. I think he probably did okay with Holgate. Complete misfire on Gerbic, which is sort of half admitted that he didn't watch him himself. He relied on other people. Ben Burton Diaz has been an absolute sensation for him, hasn't he? So, yeah, swings and roundabouts, really. We'll see. Been down for 6 months plus. Well, that'll have been before Wilder came back then. If we've not got players lined up to come in, what have we been doing? Not won a home game this year. How do we get 16 points? Absolute rubbish. Very worried. How do we know we've not got players lined up? How do you know we haven't? I think we have. I think we will have. I'll be amazed. I'll be amazed. In fact, I know we have. I know we're talking to a lot of players. Don't worry about it'll be more. I'd like to think we focus more on quality, but we need quantity as well, don't we? So there'll be loads of names linked. You've already seen plenty. That says Wilder has to stay and do the real build. Too much negative people. We owe him to go out. His reputation is at stake. His reputation is at stake. That's probably fair to say. What's Wilder going to do if he gets sacked from us? He's everything on the line to get it right, I suppose. We're a Hamer Arblaster sail away from being relegation. Wow. On a positive note, don't ever have to see Matt Close try and play football again. So what we're doing here, Bean, is wiping the slate clean. And obviously the players that you're left with, that's not going to be anywhere near the squad that we start next season with, because you've got to get some out to get some in. So we're in the in-between stage, out where we've agreed to let some out. There'll be more that come, I think, on Tuesday, Wilder said. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted because I've seen what's coming up. I'm hoping that United fan in the Cop as well, and the atmosphere was fantastic today. Never seen us that electric, even when we were 1 down. Yeah, all the best wishes to the fan who went down in the Cop. If anybody's got any updates on that, let me know, because the game stopped temporarily because somebody went down in the Cop. I think it was early second half, I want to say. I can't honestly remember. It's a bit of a blur, to be honest. But yeah, best wishes to them that went down, and hopefully they're okay. Same, I hope the United fans okay within the Cop today. This is what I got distracted by. Nicholas Cook, you absolute legend. Thank you, pal. Finally, it's over. The pain ends today. We can bury this season 6 foot under, but next season, like a phoenix from the ashes, we rise. Up the blades, up the ramble. Nick, that is absolutely unbelievable. So generous. And thank you for your support. You and everybody else that supports the channel is the reason that we're able to progress at the rate that we have. And I thank you so much for your support, pal. Absolutely love that. Shame you couldn't make it today. I know you were sort of with us in spirit, but unbelievable. Thank you. Arblaster looked like a player who knows is gone in the summer. You think? I didn't get those vibes. Prem German clubs I've heard are already in for him. Can you realistically see him or Hamer staying for next season? Yeah, I can. I honestly can. Look, they are going to be the ones that people are interested in, of course. And Wilder's already said we're vulnerable. We're vulnerable to offers that come in for him, because Arblaster particularly is a real up-and-coming gem, isn't he? But Hamer is a cheat code at championship level. He's so good. So good. But I can see him staying. I think if we keep them both, I think we've got to be, obviously we have to build a team around them. It's, 2 players do not make a team, but we are going to be in the conversation for automatic promotion. This is how important I think they are. I think if we sell one, my expectations would be, can we make it into the playoffs? And if we sell both, then I think we're in a bit of trouble. Well, a lot of trouble, to be fair. Up the blades, up the ramble. Top man. Evening, Jimmy, says Ian. Well, I've already sent this season to the depths of my memory. Looking forward to some great transfer rambles and the fixture list coming out. Keep up the great work. Up the blades, up the ramble. Like and subscribe. Thank you, pal. And thank you for your support as well. Not just with our ramblers, but also being a mod as well and keeping the dodgy comments at bay. I get people blaming me for blocking them, and I haven't blocked anybody. And it must be you and Scott in the background. So thank you for being the gatekeepers. Thomas says, evening, Jimmy. Watch the game from Executive Box. Very nice. Very fancy. After the 3rd goal went in, I ordered some beers. Watched Sky reports from around the grounds. One thing stood out a mile. Pace of defenders, frightening. Or a lack of pace of our defenders, probably. He's some unit, in Mickey van der Ven. Some unit. You should begin with the departure of Clueless Chris, the false messiah. Good evening, David Webster. Hope you're well, my friend. That train is never late. And with that, we'll get into our first caller because we've got a fair few waiting tonight. Let's go first. How's it going, pal? Talk about a good... I haven't seen your name on here now. Talk about a good what? What's your name? Let me pull it up.
It says talk about a good birthday.
Oh, nice, mate.
It's me. It's me. It's me, Ollie.
I know it's you, All. How you going, pal? You okay?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Happy birthday to you, mate. Is that?
Thank you.
I assume it's. I hope so.
Yes,
Anyway,
it's today.
Happy birthday, mate. How old are you allowed to say?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm 13.
You're 13.
Yes.
That's all right then. That's all right. I thought. Okay. It's just right. Okay. No worries. How is it going, mate? How are you doing?
Well, before kick-off, it was good because I got pictures of Arblaster and Diaz.
Oh, did you?
So, yeah, I think I got about 10 pictures and 11 signatures because I couldn't be bothered getting a picture of Adam Davis. I've got enough. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Oh, you've got enough with him.
And to be fair, Blaster were right behind him. And, actually, I asked Gus if he's going to stay. He says yes. And I asked Vinny if he's going, and he said yes.
Oh, well,
yeah,
that's an interesting.
Yeah, I'm not lying. I swear down.
Our roving reporter Ollie, on his 13th birthday, got what probably some will say is a present to all of us and confirmation that Vinny Souza's leaving. So, right, take that for what you will. Take that, Alan Nixon. You don't get that, do you? On your podcasts. So, right. So, Vinny Souza is leaving the Blades according to information he's given to you all.
And then after, I asked him if he's in Brazil team, and he said yeah.
Listen, are you winding me up now?
I'm being serious.
Okay. Listen, Gus has told two of us now that he's definitely staying. So that's it. We can all sleep well at night.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen. That's
fine. Blaster's not going to go. He's a Blade.
Yeah, he's a Blade. As was Harry Maguire. As was Kyle Walker.
He's only played for 2 or 3 months. You know. I think
we might be all right, but I think Hamer worries me slightly because of the form he's been in these last 2 months. But we'll see. We'll see, mate. So, what did you think of the game today?
One key word. I won't say referee. I'll say officiating instead because it weren't just him. Officiating. I was sat above the away end, so I got a big headache from Tottenham fans doing my head in. So I might have been looking a bit. My eyes might have got a little bit funny, but from my angle, for the first goal, it looked like it went out of play. I've watched it on Sky. That looks it. It did say it, so I retract that statement. The second goal. I've looked on Sky from the view where I saw it, where a foul on Arblaster from Madison. I've looked on Sky, and I do think that was a foul. So I think that goal gets chalked off. End at first half. Are you sat on Cop, Jimmy, or you in South Stand?
No, I'm in John Street.
Oh, yeah,
I have to say, I think you've had best view today because I don't know if anybody agrees, but above the away fans, I think
most of the stuff happened at that end really today.
Yeah, it's a great view from where you are, above the away fans there.
So, and then just at end at first half, I think Robbo had a long throw. Vicario pushes Trusty, and then ref tells him off. Ref turns his back. He pushes him over again, and not even the yellow's been given.
I know. Crowd went mad as well, didn't we?
Yeah, I know. We went crazy. Yeah, and then half-time whistle went. Then there were that red card, ridiculous. How's Vicario not getting booked? And then Andre Brooks is getting sent off for that. But luckily, VAR did something right and put him back on.
They did. Yeah.
Still, it's just.
I think what annoyed me with that was, and I didn't see it again. I think they tried to play it on screen, and then I think it carried on with games, so I couldn't really see the full replay. But my point of that is, if he's going to send him up, what I think happened was Son's gone down as if he's been stamped on and rolled a little bit. I may be wrong with this. I'll watch it back and see if I'm on right lines. But Son's made out like he's been stamped on, which is why Brooks has got the red. So when he's gone to screen and agreed to reverse his decision because he clearly hasn't stamped on him, why is Son not getting booked for simulation there?
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
By cheating. So I don't get why that doesn't get pulled. But anyway, that's by the by. So
yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? And then there were another. I think it was first half. Arblaster got clattered. I think it may have caught his hip and it went flying.
Yeah.
And nothing was given. Not even a free kick was given. that he played on, and that might have been him. I'm not sure if that went build up to first goal, but still should have been given a free kick for it.
No, I think he tried to give advantage to us, and we quickly lost it, didn't he? I thought we were going to pull it back, but he didn't. So, how are you feeling going into next season, pal? Are you confident that Wilder's going to do the business in summer?
Am I, Al? I love Wilder. I love Wilder. I do think it's the right decision to keep him, as I think I've said every week. But these players, how much is in the squad? Is it 24, 25, 26-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got 17 out of contract. So that's about 7 players who aren't out of contract. And Anel Hozic, Vinny Souza, Gustavo Armour, Oliver Arblaster are all part of them players. They could all go. I think Blaster and Gus will stay, but the other 2, I think they'll go.
Yeah,
so they're all a part of this squad. So then that brings it down to 3. Who's that trusted Garbage and Asula? So what we're going to do then? And if Prince isn't giving us parachute money or whatever it's been on about, what are we meant to do?
There are so
we'll
many.
Have to bring 21s in.
There are so many.
Well, I'll be honest. If we don't, is it a retirement list on Tuesday? If there isn't a lot of, if there isn't at least 10 of them players who are signed up, then I do think we'll go down to League One. And I'm not even joking.
Right, I'm wrapping the call here, Ols. I'm wrapping the call. It's been great to speak to you, and thank you for being one of our most consistent callers on night.
And 8 million for Patterson from Sunderland. What a joke! Hasn't Victor Johansson signed for Stoke and all?
Yes, he has, mate. Yeah, he has.
It's a shame.
Ols, I'm going to let you go, pal. But thank you very much for your contributions this season, and I'll catch up with you soon. All right, pal.
Oh yeah. Also, quick. Do you do call-ins for the transfer window?
Did I call into the transfer window?
No. You know how you do these call-ins at every post-match?
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing them throughout the summer transfer window? Just out of interest.
To be honest, I've not really thought about it, but I'm sure if the demand is there and people want to call in and speak to us, then yeah, we'll have a platform for it. No problem at all. I'll certainly be churning out a lot of transfer content because I love it. So thanks again, then, pal.
I'll see you later. Have a good summer if I don't speak to you.
Yeah, you too, mate. And happy birthday. See you later, pal.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, mate. Bye. Right, I'm going to jump into another call now quickly because we've got a few people waiting. So I'm going to let's see on my magical mystery list. I can see them all waiting now, smiling away. We're going to go with Stevie. Stevie Marsden, come get fit. How's it going, pal?
Yeah, I'm good. I again didn't watch the match, but I've watched everything around it. I've just checked out. Can't put myself through it. Foregone conclusion. We're playing for nothing. And it's I think they said on Blades Pod a few weeks ago, and I laughed at the time. I know, mate, but
no, they're good. They're good. We like them. That's good.
Do you know, just as a consumer of all information Blades, it's just nice to have stuff all week to listen to and just different opinions and that. It's good.
Of course it is.
Yeah, when you've got chores and that, mate, you got to do something.
It's not always when you're married, because I sometimes get a bit of stick from never having my phone out of my hand and why you love Sheffield United more than you love me. I got that this week as well. So yeah.
Even
well, you know.
So, I think
Move on.
This is Ramble.
She won't see this, mate. She won't see this. Don't worry.
Good. No, we can say what we want. No, I think I'm just choosing not to watch the games at the minute because it upsets me how we play, and it's not necessarily the performances. It's the performances, but it's the characteristics within the performances. I just don't like it, and I refuse to let my mood be drained by the same old. And I was for anyone who doesn't know, I live in Edinburgh, and I was very tempted to come down today just to, do you know what I mean, wave off Basham and Norwood, but nah. But what I'd like to talk about, Jimmy, nervous look.
Wow.
No, it's just to keep you on track. I'll be real quick. My thoughts for the season are Number one, I was really hopeful when we started the season. I was hopeful because, like, we got to the Prem, we'd had this amazing season in the Championship where we got to the semi-final of the FA Cup, and even though we had no chance of beating Man City, it was one of my favourite days out I've ever had as a Blade. Like being in like Box Park with everyone, and it was just
Brilliant, wasn't it?
getting
Brilliant.
promoted, amazing. But that was against the backdrop of like nearly going out of business. Like it's the relative success that I like, especially because the season before Hecky took over 17th in the Championship, and Slav, we were talking about doing a rebuild with Slav then.
Yeah, we were.
We were talking about going to a 4-3-3. Slav had been known for using wingers. Like, I feel like the last 3 years has been just fixing small problems constantly, going, oh my God, this amazing Wilder team we had is crumbling and it's getting old and it's leaving. We'll go to Slav, we'll do a rebuild now, but then we've gone, actually, no, we can't. We need to just keep going, and we've been fixing small problems. But anyway, I was originally hopeful. However, the kind of long-term thinker in me was like, do you know what? We're in the Prem, we'll take the money. We'll sign these people and hope it goes well. But do you know what? If we lose every week, it'll be all right, because at least we've got a club and we fix the problems. Living through it has been really, really tough.
Yeah, it has.
The signings at the time, they were underwhelming, but we were all very, very hopeful because we'd seen Anel Ahmedhodzic. We'd signed him for what? 2 million, 4 million, whatever it was.
About 4 million quid, yeah.
And he was an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we're thinking, I mean, I had last year, I played Football Manager when, I don't know, I must have had a week off or something. I never play it when I've got to work. And I sold him for like 45 million to Leicester in the Premier League the next season. So like he looked like a beast. So I was thinking like Benny Traore, Slimane, they were all people in there.
Yep.
We looked at them like, oh, if he's an Ahmedhodzic, amazing, but he is unproven. The gap's just been too big this year. We've not been able to compete. We were also, in hindsight, very, very blessed in Chris Wilder's first reign that for about 4 years we didn't really have any injuries, or there was no memorable injuries that I can think of. You know what I mean? That course
other than Coots, I would agree.
Sorry, I'm specifically talking Championship to the Prem, 2019 to 2021.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Where every week you could predict that lineup.
Yeah, very robust team, weren't we?
Yeah, the only thing that would swap was maybe, was it going to be McGoldrick Sharp? Was it going to be Mousset and Bickburney and whatever combination? Like, you knew your back nine.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
So listen, it's just been a bad season. There's been so much on field. It's just, we are seeing the accumulation of putting off this rebuild for a long time now. And now we're in a period where, according to a lot of the fans and the pundits, we have to do this in this window. We could have done it a long time before. Yeah. Now, I was on last time after the Everton game. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
You cheekily let me on at the end, and thank you for that. And I sort of was like, listen,
mate, you know that.
I know. But my opinions on Chris Wilder, you know them. Like, I've got my doubts. However, I'm not going to bring any of them up now. I'm going to give you my view on why he can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. You're quite open-minded, aren't you, with it?
I am open-minded, but like, I feel like it's very easy to go, no, Wilder can't do it. But I'm seeing stuff and the things that he's saying, and we're seeing some actions now where I think, listen, there's a lot of positivity. And I'm feeling like the fan base is more on the negative side. So I kind of like playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
So this season has been talked about. We've bought the assets. We've bought the infrastructure. In terms of selling the club, the way you build a business and sell a business is to have assets and infrastructure. We were relying on Sander Berger and Iliman Ndiaye. We didn't own the stadium before Prince Abdullah took over. It was only because of the court case. We got it. We've got the ground around the stadium. We've got planning permission for the training ground. We have now got a massive asset sheet with a lot of cash as well from the parachute payments that I know is tied up in some things.
Yes.
But some of the things it's tied up is very, very young, talented, contracted players to us. And I'll come on to Ollie Arblaster and Gus Hamer in a minute. So in terms of like the price of the club, I'm really positive about that. And everybody's saying, I think Hal made the point tonight, like, everybody's saying lower the price, Prince, lower the price.
What's the price? What's the price though? Does anybody know it?
Well, I don't know but the price should be higher. We've sold Illiman and Sander, but we've replaced them with other assets that have longer contracts. So therefore, we have more money there, like value.
Yeah, on the balance sheet. Yeah,
we've bought more assets on the balance sheet, so the price should actually be higher. And as somebody who sells quite a premium product to people, when anybody complains about the price, I know it's not right for them and they can't afford it. I want a billionaire to come in.
Is that going to be segue? Is that going to be a little segue?
No. I'm not going to pitch my own product. You can play the advert in a bit. But like, if a billionaire is going to come in, or a consortium is going to come in and haggle over 10 million, mate, they are not the right people. Do you know what I mean? They're just not the right people.
Absolutely right.
So
I agree.
Yeah, right. Arblaster and Hamer, I think everybody's gone, oh my God, we're going to lose them. There's this panic, this weird panic that's come about. The contract is for 4 years. We are learning from the mistakes of Illiman and Sander already. We are tying these assets up into contracts. Everybody's panicking, but we'll either get loads of money for them because they've performed really well, or we'll keep them. Like, there's no downside there. Absolutely no downside.
I think the concern with Hamer is that he's got a release clause. There's not been any confirmed figures on what the release clause is, but if he's easily attainable, then I can understand why people. But like you say, we'll certainly be financially better off. Well, it's more than we paid for him. I know that we're being circulated that it's what we paid for. It's not. It's more than what we paid for him. So we will make money on Gus Hamer if we sell him, if people meet that asking price. But people have seen what an impact he can have, even in the Premier League, for us over these last couple of months. So that's why people are desperate to keep him. And only Arblaster will be nothing but profit. You talk about balance sheets and FFP and all that sort of stuff. 25 million quid should be the starting offer for him, for me. But I think if you play the long game with Ollie Arblaster, and I think this is what people are trying to get the club to sort of try and see. Yeah. If he leads us to promotion, or as a standout individual performance even next season, like Illiman did, then whether we get promoted or not, we're going to double that on Ollie Arblaster. You know, we'll get 40 million quid for him rather than 25 just by keeping him a little bit longer because he's that good. So it's just trying to have a little bit of foresight with it.
Yeah, and I just see it as a sign, a positive sign that the club's learning its lessons and tying these players up.
Yes,
everybody last year was complaining about the opposite problem, and I just like that. I also really, really love that the club has invested in one of its strongest things since I've been a supporter, since I was 5 or whatever. So what's that? Like 14 years now. But we were invested in the youth setup. We've always had a cracking youth setup, and now we are actually putting a lot of money towards it. That can only be positive. Right, I'm going to be real quick now, Jimmy. I'm going to talk a little bit about the rebuild.
Okay.
Right. Wilder's brought in his mates to do the recruitment side of it.
I thought we weren't being negative.
I'm not, but I'm going to give you the positives of that.
I'm joking. Go on, mate. Go on.
They know how to work with him. If you have ever worked with a new person, you know that there is this friction at the start. And what he's done there is he's brought like Jamie Hoyland and the other bloke in to come in and hit the ground running. He trusts them. He knows how they work. Absolutely. He knows how they work, and it just fast tracks the whole process. And like, I agree. That is such a positive thing, given that we have a time-sensitive thing. And the signing of Gerbic, as frustrating as it was, it obviously shows that Wilder will delegate to people that he trusts.
Yeah.
He has going to have so much on his plate that, yes, delegation might give you potentially like some headaches in that, I don't know, you have to trust other people. It's really, really hard. You ever run your own business, it's really, really hard. But it takes stuff off his plate, a very, very full plate. I would rather that than him making mistakes because he's overworked and stuff. I'm excited.
I just wonder though, sorry to interrupt you, mate, but I just wonder if that Gerbic has burnt his fingers a little bit. And maybe he tries to claw back a little bit more. I understand what you're saying, that it's a positive that he's initially open to working, you know, letting others have more responsibility. Yeah. But this Gerbic has tanked and could have seen Wilder sacked.
100%, and he must learn a lesson that he has to see the people before he's like. He's
got to be the final gatekeeper, and he can't just 100% trust somebody else.
Cannot do this again. Like, I see the delegation element as the positive, and
Yeah,
now all
agreed.
he has to do is put the rubber stamp on. Right, let's see that. I'm glad he mentioned the medical team and the fitness team. I think that has been our undoing for the past 3 years. There was that period in the championship we had where we were playing Sanderberger, Illerman, and Morgan Gibbs-White as like this 3 rotating 10 thing, which, to be fair, was good. Like, it was a really, it was quite, I don't know. Yeah, it really was. And I'm surprised more teams haven't tried to do that. Imagine, do you know what I mean? We did it again. Anyway, I liked in his press conference, he meant coachable players.
Yeah.
And that the assumption there is some players have not been coachable. And when I was down at the Burnley game, you could see, do you know what I mean, Sanderberger running through as he wanted. And then Vinny Souza was just doing whatever Vinny Souza wanted. And Nella's obviously run forward today, and they're not coachable. They think they are better than the team and what they're trying to achieve. So I want people who can adapt. I want to see signings that are young, they're versatile, they're fit. And that's not just like technically gifted players. That is adapting up here as well.
Yeah.
And it's hard, and it's fine. I want higher standards. One of the negatives of Wilder at the moment that I need to see stop. If Wilder, if you're watching, I love you, but this needs to stop. He used to say he doesn't care about performances, he cares about points. To me, when he is justifying letting in 104 goals over a season, whether he was there for it or not, the defense hasn't improved. When he is justifying us at the bottom of the league winning only 3 games in a season through, we'd have been 14th by this statistic. To me, that is showing that his standards are low and he's making excuses. And the Wilder back then, when he was successful, it wasn't about performances, it was about points. And I think there needs to be a higher standard from everyone. And that standard starts at the top. And if you are sitting, if a player goes, but I made Vinny Souza, let's take him as an example. If he goes to Wilder or the fans, or he goes, do you know what? I have made the 5th most amount of tackles in the Premier League this season. Well, yes, you are using that statistic to back up poor performance and make an excuse.
That's right. We've seen how poor you've been, pal. Don't you? Can't tell me that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
don't want any Wilder old signings. John Swift. Do you know what I mean? These people that were always rumoured with, Neil Maupay. Nah. We need to move forward. I can't. No.
You're not having that.
Mate, last point, then I'm gone. Today was a big goodbye. It's a goodbye to the past, and Wilder's not allowed to live. He has no rope left. I think that a lot of the fans are getting to the point now where he cannot live on his past reputation, and nor can any of the existing players. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to see him do what John Fleck did. I don't want to see him do what Norwood did, where they just go in past where they should have been.
I agree.
One of the biggest positives, I really want to see him adapt. I've not seen it yet. I really want to see him adapt. And he has always been strongest when his back is against the wall.
Yes, he has. I think the criticism of Wilder that I hear most is that he talks the talk, but he needs to start walking the walk now. So obviously, like you say, he's burned all his excuses now. And I don't mean excuses as in it might be reasoning. We've been a poor team in the Premier League, and I'm willing to give him benefit of the doubt that, it's a clean slate and he's going to be the man to fix us. But we can't start slowly next season. We have to get a squad together in the summer, like you've talked about, young, hungry, fit, adaptable, robust players that want to play for the shirt and know what it means. Those fans today were absolutely, and I were part of it, to be fair, but it's the best I've heard Bramall Lane in a long time. And it were quite goosebumpy for me at times, where we're singing about, win, lose or draw, we'll always be here. And it's just, it were just wow. And the play, like when they're saying the goodbyes to 3 absolute legends of the club, I mean, I'm saying this is impressive. This is how we should be doing it, and this is what players would want as a send off. I'm still of the belief that Sheffield United are a huge attraction to players. I know we've seen some comments earlier that said,
I completely agree. We're
not the same sort of pull that we used to be. But I think if you take current managers out of the loop and things like that. But if you put us side by side with Luton, for example, and this isn't a dig at Luton, but in terms of club size and stature, I'd rather be walking out at Ramble Lane to 30,000 than Kenilworth Road, personally. And, you know, that's nothing against them. They're dogged and they're good, and they'll probably go really well next season. But my point raising that was, I think we're still a strong pull, certainly at championship level. And it's just getting this squad build right. It's so important, mate. So important.
Exactly. Well, the team has to mirror the fans. Like, the fans have been so astute this season, because it hasn't just been vitriol and abuse. It's been, we've identified that Ollie Arblaster, Gus Hamer, like everything the fans are saying has been correct. It's such a smart, astute fan base.
Absolutely right.
That does have good, I don't know, good debate amongst itself. It's passionate, but it expects high standards, and not necessarily high standards like Man U, where they expect to win every game. We're not.
No, but we've got minimum requirements, haven't we? We've got minimum requirements.
Personal standard to the badge and the performance levels, and this is why Ben Osborne does not get abuse.
Well, this is what Wilder said, isn't it? You can't fool the punters, and that's why Blaster don't get stick, Hamer don't get stick, Brereton Diaz don't get stick, and he's right. He's right, mate, isn't he? So.
Yeah. So that's my piece. I'm looking forward to a summer of just speculation and nonsense, and then building my hope up again. And I'll come down a hell of a lot more than I did, because I think it's worth the money and it's easier to get tickets. This loyalty point system, Prince Abdullah, if you're watching, get Jimmy to give you my number. I've got some thoughts for you. All right. And if you want a personal trainer, just give me a shout. All right. I am to personal training what you are to toilet paper, my friend.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going there. Right, mate. Loved speaking to you, pal. Thank you for coming on and giving us your insight. Give us a quick shot of the guns before you go, and I'll play your advert out later on.
Cool. Right.
Top man. See you soon. Bye-bye. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. Stevie, top man. Top man. Right, I'm going to have to jump into some of these comments before I welcome some of our other callers. Dom says, just glad to see the end of that horror show of a season, Jimmy. Hopefully Wilder gets the signings right for the rebuild. I just thought we'd finish above them lot next season. Oh, we will, mate. We will. No danger. Up the blades, up the ramble. Like and subscribe. We love it. We love it. David Moore, one of our platinum ramblers. Thank God that's over. Summer's here. Beach time. No more upset on Saturdays. It's beach time. In Wilder, I trust to get it right. Up the blades, up the ramble. Like and subscribe. Nicholas Cook, the most generous of all the ramblers. And you're all very generous, but wow, from what you've been doing, Nick, unbelievable. Can't wait to see the lineup for next season. Wilder will be peeved. So he'll make a team of Terminators. Yes, let's hope so, mate. Let's hope so. Scott says it's finally over. Let's get this rebuild underway. Who do we think the first signing's going to be? I'll be in there in August, ready to go again. Great work this season, Jimmy. Up the blades, up the... Thank you, pal. Who do I think the first signing will be? I think he'll move quickly in the free agent market. It won't surprise me if it's somebody quite solid, but maybe underwhelming. Somebody like a Paddy McNair wouldn't surprise me at all, because we know these players are fit and available, or free and available, should I say. Yeah, I think a couple of free agents might come in first. Loans we might not know who's available till later on. We'll have to suss out what we're going to be paying out in transfer fees. So I expect a solid free agent to come in first, somebody like Paddy McNair, probably. Thomas says, Jimmy, the only way effective change is with new owner or owners. Otherwise, we're in for a period of stagnation. Up the blades, up the ramble, like and subscribe. The Man Mountain, who I believe is also in our green room, says the red card has evoked 1,000 bad feelings. He had no idea and gave it anyway. We'll get into that, mate, when you come on. This league is pure poison. I couldn't face it after that. End of. End of. Love a little end of. Tip of the cap to Billy. Nice one. Nick says it's disgusting that all we aim for and look forward to is a corrupt league. And Rye says, thank God that's over. Another one of our Platinum Ramblers. Super nervous and anxious for what's to come, but that's all part of being a blade. Yes, mate. Yeah. I'm purposely not going to tell you if we're linked with anybody, because I'll just get spammed with emails day after day and messages into WhatsApp group. What's happening, so-and-so? What's happening? When's Luke Ayling signing? Live in 6 minutes. Well, that shows how far behind I am on comments, doesn't it? Who's got odds on Jimmy being on time? Wow. I thought you were a nice guy. Simon Gregory, isn't that Steve from Coronation Street? I'm sure that's his name, Simon Gregory. Probably a different Simon, but I'm sure I might be wrong. Well, Jimmy, it's all over. Cannot say I've enjoyed this season. What are you thinking of the special club of ours for next season? Is it hope or discomfort again? I'm filled with optimism at the moment, Simon. Check back. You know, Rambles may go down in morale as the sort of summer goes on. But at the moment, I'm very optimistic. It's a dangerous place to be, but I haven't been able to feel like this for such a long time following our club. So I'm going to try and give Wilder the benefit of the doubt, because I wouldn't want anybody else. If I could handpick a manager to come in and do this rebuild, he's who I would pick. So I'm excited for it, mate. Scotty says, I may be the only one, but I'd rather not see Wilder at the helm next season. We need fresh eyes on this team in a rebuild. He may come good and prove me wrong, but I haven't seen it in the 20-plus games. That's fair. It's not really, you know, I understand why people feel like that. I think you're probably in the minority, Scott, but it doesn't mean there's not a good portion of you, if that makes sense. Chris, good to meet you, pal, today. If we rate the players 1 to 10, none rate above 6 this season. Yeah, probably right. Probably that. To remain in the championship, they need to rate at least 7 to 8. I'm really starting to fear for next season. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. John Froggatt says it's over, thank goodness, but we'll be back, Jimmy, bigger, stronger than ever. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Rob, one of our Platinum Ramblers. Don't care about records, as records are there to be broken. Let's hope somebody breaks some of our records that we broke this season. Overall, a good year for the club, as we're in a good financial situation with the good news for the training facilities, academy, and if you look at the bigger picture, it's not been. We've benefited, haven't we, from this promotion, but it's just been so painful to watch on the pitch, and we're the ones that suffer through watching it, don't we? Because we're the ones that just want them to turn up and do well. But thank you, Rob. That's a fair spin. Thank you to Steve McDonald, who's become a new member. It's probably not even his name as well. That's probably not even the actor's name. But Simon, thank you very much, pal. You're very welcome. And if you want to go to our communities page on YouTube, there'll be my number there, and that'll get you into the WhatsApp group. Enough funds to build a competitive team. So overall, a good year, says Rob. Well, that remains to be seen, Rob, to be honest. We'll see. Who had Jimmy on time? 3 out of 5 pay up. That's unbelievable, Nick, that you are running a book on when I can turn in. Not listening to any more transfer rumours. I'll wait till they're signed up. Dean, what are you doing? That's what I'm all about. I had a cracking afternoon with my lad in the boozer. The match ruined it. In the Blades, up the Ramble. Thank God it's over. It sounds like you're having a good afternoon, pal, but no, that's great. That's what it's about, isn't it? Having a laugh and a good time with your pals and your family. That's what that's certainly what I do when I go to games. And all Ramblers bring their young ones when they feel it's appropriate. Because it isn't always. Jimmy Civil says, not sure Wilder is the long-term answer. He may well get us up. But if it's through loans and low money signings, I fear a similar Premier League disaster. No, I don't. I think people are, not people, I don't mean to sort of stereotype there, but some are forgetting the gap between the two divisions. It's an absolute, gulf is not a big enough word. It's an absolute chasm between the two. So as much as we've still got a lot of work to do, because a spine is leaving our team, we've still got the pulling power to get the right players in to go strong next year, I think. Evening, pal. Thank goodness it's done. I kept thinking, apart from the ones I know off who I worn the shirts for the last time. I know of whoever has worn the shirts. Yeah, I think we've talked about it, haven't we? It might be McBurney, might be Jebison. There's probably a couple of others in there as well. We know it's Wes. We know it's Max Lowe. We know Norwood won't play again. I was surprised to not see him in the squad today. Robbie Vaughan says, Jimmy, I want to thank you for the effort and the hard work you've put in for all those Blades to be able to vent and get our frustrations heard. Up the Blades. Thank you, mate. That's very kind of you to say, but this is not work. This isn't work. It's not hard for me to come on and you guys cheer me up as much as I'm sort of allowing you to vent. You're doing the same for me, and it's just a back and forth, and I love it, and I thank you all for your support. It's very much appreciated, but no off-season for us. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. I don't know about anyone else, but I feel we needed this season to realise a rebuild is needed, says Cole. We need to realise what needs to change and who needs to change and go again. I know what you're saying there, pal. Yeah, maybe we've stagnated on the squad for too long. I think a few of us have sort of been making murmurings that it should have been changed a little while ago, and you can rely on the old heads for too long. But great point. New year, new attitude, new spirit, up on the entertainment. Up for the entertainment. Sorry, Rob. I'm butchering this already. Andrew Brindley says, no Gerbich even on the bench. Has he gone? And who else do you think will go now? Oh, no Gerbich on the bench. Wilder said he wanted to give Adam Davis the opportunity to be on the bench. I think, unsurprisingly, that will mean Adam Davis goes when his contract expires. So he'll get released on Tuesday. Gerbich is technically contracted to the club, so maybe you could argue that, well, he's going to be here next season anyway, so keeping him on the bench, he will be with the squad. I would argue to say that Gerbich will go in the summer. I think we're going to release all 4 goalkeepers. I think we'll release the 3 that are contracted, that are not contracted, and I think Gerbich will be transfer listed, and I think he'll bring in 2 new goalkeepers at least. I certainly hope so. 3 legends left today, 2 others also left. All the best to them, but as a club, we'll always need to move on and improve. Absolutely right. Wilder really talked the talk in the programme today about the rebuild. Just hope he gets backed and gets time because he's done it before. Let's hope he's got a bit of magic left and can do it again. He's absolutely chomping at the bit. Absolutely cannot wait to get involved. I'm really excited to see what he can do. Wilder's the man to move us forward and establish us towards getting promoted back to the most corrupt league in the world. And Nick Cook, I'm going to read this and then I'm going to get to our callers because they've been waiting a long time and I appreciate it. But Nick Cook again throws money our way. Thank you, mate. Very much appreciated. Jimmy, thanks for the content this season. It's been incredible. You've lifted the spirits of all of us, given us hope. I can't wait for your content next season. Thank you, pal. Thank you so much for your generosity and becoming a Platinum Rambler. You're very much welcome in the community, and as is anybody that wants to join us. We just try and be open and honest and fair with each other and respect each other's opinions. But it's not like end of this season for the Ramble. Let's look forward to next season's Ramble. There's no off season for us. We're gonna go right through. But thank you so much, Nick. You're very, very generous, and I really appreciate it. It really does help the channel. So sorry to those that have been waiting to jump on. I'm now going to go first to Ollie. How's it going, pal?
It's delightful. That's what it is.
It's delightful. It's delightful that
it's over.
it's over. Don't be sad that it's happened. Or what's the saying? Don't be sad. Don't be sad it's over. Be delighted it's happened or whatever it is. Anyway, the season's done. Thank goodness we are. It's difficult, isn't it? Because I'm certainly not one for. I said it at the beginning. I don't want to celebrate relegation. It just feels like a big relief to be clearly the worst team in the league. We're now going to get a chance at a lower level, which will hopefully mean we're a lot more competitive. We have obviously been in the past.
Yeah.
It's just there's so much turnover happening now. It's a little bit daunting. What are your thoughts on everything that's happening at the club at the minute, mate? Do you think it was the right decision to let the players go that have gone? Do you think Wilder's the right man for the rebuild? And what do you think of his chances for next season?
First of all, before I get into that, wishing that fan well on the cup.
Absolutely,
it was
mate.
A seizure, I believe.
Oh, what it? Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Have we had an update from
thing,
that? Sorry, have we had an update from that anyway? Because I haven't obviously seen anything since.
I don't know. I sit on the cup and there's a supporter liaison that sits near us, and he rushed down. So, yeah.
Okay. Fingers crossed for a positive update on that then.
Yeah, and to our players, I think it's I don't think it's right. Not one of them came over. Not one of them.
When it happened, you mean?
So Son and Madison came over and checked, but not one of our players did.
It's disappointing. I'd like to give them benefit of doubt to see what was said or what they were aware of, but it looked obvious to us that there were a medical emergency in the crowd, and I thought they were going to pause the game until it were dealt with, but I don't know. I don't know, mate. Don't know what's happened, but obviously we wish him all the best.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what's your thoughts on either today, as I say, or going into next season? Are you confident? Do you think we've got the right man? Would you change anything?
On today, we played better. Is it your mate, the referee, Mr. Madley?
I went to school with Andy Madley, yeah. I did, yes.
Yeah. I'd have
You'll
a few
notice
words
I haven't
with him,
made a comment on the referee yet.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling me out, because I'm always honest on here. I won't lie to you, but yes, I do know Madders, and I had a chat with him before and congratulating him because he's going to be FA Cup final referee as well. But yeah, I know there were some questionable decisions today, I think. Yeah, but
just a few.
Yeah. So,
anyway,
yeah.
on the future plan.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, thanks for moving on quickly. Appreciate that. On the future,
it's a mixture for me because I don't know what's going to happen. Do I trust the Prince? No, I don't. Do I trust Wilder? No, I don't.
Why?
I don't know.
Why don't you trust either of them? What has shattered your trust in both of them?
I always said when Wilder has money, he crumbles. You know, you have a look at Brewster, McBurney.
So surely the fact that he's here now, he'll be fine.
Well,
we ain't got any money to spend.
I know we don't. Yeah, you're right.
I know what you mean. I always think his questionable buys have come in the Premier League when he's been, and Steve mentioned it earlier, when he's been up against it and he's had to sort of pull rabbits out of the hat. And there's been busts in there as well. We can't make out like it's all been, there's Ricky Holmes in there. There's the left back that he brought in. People will be screaming at
Chris Hussey, you've got Mark.
Chris Hussey, yes, thank you.
Ryan
so there's
Leonard.
been all sorts of these as well along the way, but they were inexpensive mistakes. Whereas, he obviously got it bang on with the majority of players he brought in on our rise. When we got to the Premier League, you buy players like Ryan Brewster, Ollie McBurney for 20 million, which people can go, for or against on. But, there's big money signings in there that haven't really worked out. So, yeah, it's been, Zivkovic on loan, Panos Retsos. I thought Panos Retsos were all right, to be fair, but we were never getting in front of Bash at that time. So,
no.
Yes, there are question marks over when he's got some money, but he's not in that position in summer. There's going to be a little bit of money for the rebuild, but he's going to have to use it wisely. And I think I'm excited about what he can do and who he can bring in. If you think about players like that we've been linked with, such as, and I'm not saying this is a genuine link, but I know previously we've liked Joe Worrell. If we bring in a Joe Worrell for £4 million, rumoured £4 million, probably even less, I think that's a really smart bit of business. I'm not saying we're definitely going to do it. I thought we'd have been in for Johansson, and yes, we had conversations with him, but we didn't push the button on that. So it's going to be a long summer, and there'll be peaks and troughs, and there'll be things like Johansson where I'm a bit disappointed that we haven't gone all in. But I trust the manager to get it right personally. But again, if you don't, I'm just interested in why you wouldn't trust him.
I just think you want a rebuild. Just clear everything out. I would honestly. There's two managers in my mind, in Will Still, who I think's off to Sunderland now, and Rafinha.
Okay.
Young managers who are English. But
yeah.
I'd even have Kevin Moyes in.
Yeah, well, let's hope West Ham nosedive from here. Sorry, Jace, my mate from West Ham fan channel, but it strikes of Birmingham to me. This careful what you wish for, and
Absolutely.
Maybe they may plummet as well.
Moyes has saved them so much.
Yeah, he has, mate. Yeah, he has. So I think it's disgraceful behaviour. Anything else you want to have a chat about, mate, before we move on?
Two quick things. The first caller was right about Vinny saying he were leaving. He did say that.
All right. Were you there as well?
No, someone else told me in the stadium.
They
didn't tell me about the Brazil squad. I didn't hear that bit.
Okay.
And the second bit, Mr. Paul Heckingbottom lives near me.
All right.
And I may sound like a stalker here, but as I'm driving past his house, I'm not. I can see your face. I'm not.
Okay. No, I'm not judging, mate. We're not here to judge. I want this to be a safe space for you to talk about whatever you want.
As we're driving past his house, Chris Basham's car is there.
Right.
So Again, I'm not stalking anyone, but you know, I found that interesting.
It is interesting. I believe, and as I said, this might not be true. And if he wants to carry on, then I hope it isn't true. But I've heard that Basham's retiring, so maybe that's, a congratulatory drink or something like, or maybe informal chats about working together in future. But it makes more sense to me if you're manager of a club currently, and maybe Bash gets linked. But I think Bash is retiring.
I thought the only club that Basham would go to, if he was fit enough, would be Mansfield to go back with Clough.
Yeah, maybe that would make sense.
I thought, but
yeah, that would make sense.
If he is retiring, get the old band back together, get them as coaches. Basham, O'Connell.
Well, he talked in his interview on club site about moving back up north for a little bit, didn't he? I think to be with his family. So
he did. Yeah,
we'll see. But listen, Ollie, you've been a top caller to us next season. Maybe we'll get a face reveal next season. Who knows?
Well, I was scared because like I said, we started quite well. So I'm thinking, I don't know if you remember my little bet with you. I said if we beat Tottenham, I'd show my face. I was thinking it might finally happen.
Yeah, you did. But I remember you saying that actually. Now you've reminded me. Yeah. So
it's Tottenham,
so I knew there were no dangers in your face today, but maybe next season. Maybe we break that duck next season. So
if we can get the double over Wednesday.
Don't even mention them. I'm not looking forward to it. I don't want to talk about that now. I'm trying to stay positive. But listen, Ols, thank you for your support this season, mate. You've been a regular caller, and I've appreciated you getting this whole concept, helping me get this off the ground by people ringing in and having their say. So thank you, mate. It's always good to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything this season. It's been a joy watching, and it'll be a joy over the summer.
Top man. Love that. Thank you, mate.
Up the Ramble and up the Blades.
Top man.
Ta-ra.
See you soon. Cheers, Ollie.
Ta-ra.
Nice one, Ollie. And wait, before I bring our next caller in, you smell something? Something smells incredible. Absolutely incredible. Because it's Dave Leary. Oh, mate. Just a minute.
You wait.
You smell amazing. Wait. You smell unbelievable.
I'll get you.
Thank you for giving me my biggest laugh of the week. I've dined out on that tale. It's been on the Ramble.
And not just your biggest laugh.
Absolutely brilliant. Where's our little mate anyway? Where's Aaron? Is it a bit late for him?
Oh, he's gone to bed by now.
I didn't realise it was 9 o'clock.
He's
off
to the land of Nod.
I don't blame him. How are you, mate?
So it's done.
It's done.
I'm good. I mean, I wrote the season off a long time ago. So I've kind of just tried to go and enjoy myself and have a nice time and not worry too much about what's
invested
happening
in the team. Yeah.
No, little bit frustrated is maybe the wrong word. A little bit frustrated with the kind of the final whistle's just gone and it's the negativity's already started and. We've quickly acted to release players that I think most people last summer said, I can't believe we've kept.
Yes, absolutely.
Love Norwood. We were all saying at the time, was that the right thing to do? Now we've done it. We've not messed about. We can't bring anyone in yet, really, anyway. And we're already starting to panic about it. I think we will make one or two free agent signings, and then I expect we're going to have to really put our patient hats on and not be expecting us to bring 2 or 3 in every week. And it's going to take some time.
Absolutely. But you'd want it to, wouldn't you? You'd want it to be the right players rather than just bringing in players so we can announce something. They've got to be the right mould for what we're trying to build. So it can't be a rush job. Do you think this will bring about a change? Certainly, obviously, we're looking to change the culture at the club. Wilder wants that grit and determination and, will to win and desire not to lose, I suppose, more than anything. But do you think it sees a formation change potentially? Because I was talking to my dad about it today and he was like, if there's ever a time, I'm not saying we have to, and he's not even suggesting we should, but if there's ever a time to go to a back four, surely now with the turnover that we've got, this is absolutely ideal time to do it, because not many teams now play with a back three. It's going to be harder and harder to find your targets for players that are used to playing in certain situations. So do we adapt with the times and look to switch up the formation as well while we're switching up the personnel? Do you think that's something he'll look into?
I'll be amazed if he's not. I think we've been hamstrung for an amount of time with not having the flexibility to adjust ourselves when things aren't working with 5. When we've gone 4, they just look clueless. We've got no real attacking width in the squad. So that's. I'd be amazed if he's not looking at that. I'd like to think so. You're right. I can't think of many teams that play with 5.
Not anymore. It's more a rarity, isn't it? And listen, that's not always a bad thing. We could, continue down the avenue that we've done. It's certainly the formation that serves us best at the moment with the personnel we've had. But we are now going through such a harsh transitional period that it's probably right to think. I know what you're saying about in terms of with no plan B, we can't switch it between 3 and 4. But surely that's a bit idealistic to think we could, successfully keep doing that in game or whatever it might be. Surely that's the pinnacle of what you want to get to. But if we're going to go to a 4,
no, I think if you set up for a 4, you've got much more options that you can move about.
Yes, you have. Higher up,
particularly in the middle of the park. Oh, hello!
Happy birthday!
Nice smelling balloons.
Yes, lovely scented balloons there.
Apart from the squad, I think you've got Trusty played left back at Birmingham. Obviously, that's a problem position at the moment. Curtis, although inexperienced, right back, maybe makes it a bit easier for recruiting centre backs as expected. I think NL has to go.
Yeah, me too.
And it might be easier from a loan perspective to bring in that wide quality through Prem loans as well. I'd like it, but it means an academy shift as well.
Yeah. There's a lot to think about, and there's a lot that could potentially happen. I'm gonna just do a random shift here. You may recognise this. This is a bit of a behind the scenes for those of you that aren't part of our Ramblers group, because they get something called the 3 Mardy Blades, and with that, look who's here. The 3 Mardy Blades are back together. I've just noticed I've got the warm-up branding on there. That's pouring it from me. But Man Mountain, welcome. The 3 Mardy Blades are reunited. How's it going, mate? The signal is terrible for you, Paul. I'm going to kick you out if you carry on this way. How are you going?
I'm very well. I'm about to get home. I'm going to be 5 minutes. Can I get you on my laptop? Can I come back and do it again? I'm on 9% battery and I'm worried. I've got some things to say. I have to say them as well.
Right. Right, go on then. Clear off. I'll see you in 5.
I promise you, I'll be on my laptop in a sec.
You'll have to be quick because I'm wrapping up in 20 minutes. See you in a bit. Right, we'll get rid of him then. If he comes on while you're still here, then we'll get us all together again. But yes, mate. So a lot of work to do. It could go to a 4. Like you say, we've got players in the squad that can play that system, but I worry about players like John Egan in a back 4. I know he's played it for Ireland, and I know people say he can. Yeah. He just never looked convincing for us. Blaster and Hamer are a very sort of mouth-watering 2 in the middle, if you think about that as a combination. I'd like our 3, though. I don't know whether it's because I've grown comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with this background now because I'm a bit finicky with stuff like this when it's not linked with what we're doing. So, yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know. But are you a pro Wilder or are you a advocate of change?
I'm a Wilder staying, so it don't really matter what I think.
Very diplomatic. So this is the situation we're in, so we've got to deal with it.
Yeah, I am pro Wilder, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think. He is stopping, so we get behind him. We get behind whoever's here.
Love that.
And we go again.
Yeah.
And said goodbye to my seat today.
Yes. You've moved, haven't you?
Yeah. I've moved, waited until everyone had left, which surprised me how quickly everyone had gone. I thought a few would go, but it was there were shades of Atkins last game about it.
I felt the same. I was a little bit disappointed in how many left, because we've stuck with them, you know, singing and what have you with the team despite terrible performances, and that last little lap of honour. And I know there's not much honour about how the season's gone, but for players like Arblaster and Hamer, and you know, players like Norwood and Baldock and Bash getting the send off, it was quite sad to see, really. So
yeah, and like it or not, obviously, whether we think he's any good or you don't, Wes is going. He's been here a while. Lowe has a few years. You know, there's others. So, and the chance to say bye to players that inevitably will leave us. So yeah, it wasn't great, but I mean, obviously everyone's entitled to do what they want. But new seats are good. I'm a happy man, so I'm not going to be mardy about that.
You managed to scoot across then to where you're going to be?
Yeah. I went and scoped it out.
Very good. Oh, nice. I love that, particularly when you know it's a hit of a seat. So you're in John Street, aren't you? I don't want you to necessarily nail where you're going to sit. So I don't want people, you know, stalking you or anything.
You'll smell me.
I'll smell you, mate. I'll smell. You're not far from me, you know. You won't be far from me. I'm just left of the halfway line, 4 rows up.
Yeah, just right.
Right, sound. All right, that's good stuff. Yeah, so we'll get to see you then. I've had a lot of questions on this, and I did not know the answer, but I know that you do. What was George wearing?
I don't know exactly yet, because I've not managed to go and find out, but it was a Maison Francois Courgeon.
Maison Francois Courgeon, right? Okay.
Yeah, not one of the obvious ones. If you're a fragrance head, or you know, a lover of all things perfume, it's not one of the obvious ones.
Okay.
I'll find out for everybody, because I know you're all dying to know.
Yeah, honestly, and at least that's probably the question I've got the most. What was George wearing?
Yeah, well, it's been nice to get some support from someone. So, you know, at least we know Sal's got taste, if nothing else. So.
I'll deck you out, Sal. When she's your only ally, you know you're struggling. Because you wear the same perfume, don't you? She was saying.
We have. I don't wear. We have. It is unisex. Let's put it out there. Before I get any hate in the comments.
Listen, mate. No, we are. Listen, you can be whatever you want on this channel. So you, being serious for a minute. You, my friend, are very excited about the summer, aren't you? Rather than nervous per se, you're always the one that's saying, "Cannot wait for the summer. Really looking forward to it. I think it's just a huge chance to go again." So give us a bit of that positivity, mate, before I let you go.
Well, to take some perspective, obviously Wilder brought in at Christmas. I think he did have a belief that we had a chance of stopping up, but he'll have been right from that moment he came back in going, this is what we're going to do if the inevitable happens. As it got closer, and I think he'll have known much sooner than a lot of people themselves have admitted. He'll be on it. There'll be a list together. Like I said, we've acted quickly with who's not going to be part of it. Done the right thing by the long-serving guys. And there's a plan. There's a plan within the club. The infrastructure, I know Steve spoke about it brilliantly. The infrastructure is being sorted out. Let's just give it time. Let's be patient. Let's just see what happens. And if we get to the first game of the season, like we did this season, and we put out a team sheet that's a load of rubbish, then we can maybe start to panic a bit. But let's not panic in the middle of May before we've even had a chance for something to happen. All will be well.
Love that, mate. Love that. It's up to you whether you want to hang on. I can put you backstage again while I read through some comments. And if you want to hang on for Mr. Mountain to join us,
hang on.
Well. All right, mate. Right, so I'll jump you backstage for now, and I'll see you in 2. All right, buddy. Well, catch up on some comments. Right, so speaking of Steve, who did speak very well beforehand, that cutely reminded me for this awesome bit of news.
Hello there, Blades fans. Do you want to get fit, feel better, and get into shape? Well, Jimmy and I have teamed up to bring you the Blades Ramble Health and Fitness Challenge. My name's Steve. I'm a Sheffield United fan, a Platinum Rambler, and I'm also an award-winning personal trainer who's been featured on Sky News, Men's Fitness, and many, many more. I will provide you with workout plans, and no matter how fit you are or where you're starting from, you'll be able to do something. I'll provide you with nutrition coaching, and then we're going to have the amazing Rambler community support you, keep you accountable, and motivate you along the way. You can do it! And the best thing about it is, if you don't hit your goal, I will give you your money back. So if you're interested in finding out more, click the link below and let's get you fit.
Love that from Stevie Marsden. And if you don't think he talks sense about United, which I can understand, he certainly does know his stuff about health and fitness. Sorry, mate. But yeah, absolutely exciting opportunity for that. If you're interested at all in keeping fit this summer, our pre-season training, if you like, all the Ramble crew will be together. You don't have to be a Rambler to be a part of it. There's the information down below. You click the link, you'll go through to Steve's app, and it'll talk you through what you need to do. So, without further ado, let's welcome back my other two Mardy Blades. How's it going, boys? Where are the leaders, Paul? Where are the leaders?
Oh.
Can you hear me?
He's muted.
I can't hear him. Are you muted? What is going on here? You usually
about
provide
as good preparation as yours, Jimmy.
I'm not. Wow. No, you'll have to come out, go back in, and click your camera, your thing back on. I've got time for this, have we, Dave? Do you know what I mean? No. Amateur hour. Son, what a cheat. This guy deliberately trying to con the ref and didn't even get booked when VAR squashed the red card. Correct. Why doesn't he get booked for that? Dave, why don't you get booked for that?
That was outrageous.
Outrageous, mate. Last game of the season, sun shining, says FX. Nothing to play for, but still at 0-3, we were trying to keep the score down rather than going full tilt at the opposition. Speaking my language. Go on, talk to me. No, we can't hear you, mate. We can't hear you. It's just not happening for you tonight. It might be self-censoring. Thinking about the state that I saw you in when I arrived at Triple Point, maybe that's for the best. Yeah, Paul had been enjoying his afternoon, I think. We need Chirac. We need to rebuild this season. Chirac, a good friend of the channel, as we all know. Need to rebuild this season with Premier League status to attract good players. We didn't. Now we will go to Division 1. Criminal, our club is dead. Yeah, that's the spirit, mate. That's the spirit. I'm going to keep you on, Paul, until I kick you off. To me, Jebbo, McBurney and Brewster, Trusty and others have to go. Jebbo and McBurney still might go. Brewster's got another year left. Trusty's under a longer contract. So if we get the numbers in, Trusty might leave on loan. But I can't see it, to be honest. Paul's struggling here. Archer definitely got the attributes, but he hasn't done loads for us. Hey up, Ronnie. Hey, it's a nice badge, that. It's a nice badge. Up the Ramble. But the context, hardly any service in a rubbish team. I agree with that. I'm still an advocate of Cameron Archer. I think there's a very good player in there. It's just not worked for us. It's not worked. Not easy being a Blades, as I say, this season particularly. Yeah, absolutely right. Don't know what the hell is going on with Jebbo. Brewster back match fit could be important, says Josh. David Smith. I know that name very well. I don't know if it's my David Smith. That's my brother's name, but let's hope we can at least keep a backbone of the squad, i.e. Jack, Egan, Hamer, Blaster. We'll test how much backing and money can be made available, or is it going to be sell to buy? I think there'll be an element of sell to buy, Dave. I think Anel and Sousa will likely go. Apparently, Sousa's been telling people at the ground today that he's leaving, so not sure how official that is. Dirk Kuyt at Beershot and his sporting director, success on a tiny budget, just saying. Well, we've got connections there, haven't we? So, Anel's... Oh, I hope. I can hear him, I think. Go on. Talk to me. No. Anel's not recovered from glandular fever. Where's Mrs. Mountain when you need her? It can take years. Oh, shit. It can take years. No, I know I would give Nell this excuse about glandular fever. I still don't think he's... Dave, you can come in on this, mate, if you want.
Yeah.
What's happened to Nell? What has happened to him? Because we were all so excited about him going into the Premier League. He was one of the positions that we weren't worried about at all. And he's just not done it, has he? He's not done it at Premier League level. And do you sort of give that any credence, the whole glandular fever residual effects thing?
I had it when I was about 13.
Right.
And it's one of the worst things I've had to cope with, I think, from an illness perspective.
Okay.
I'd have to walk about 15 feet to go to the bathroom and back, and then I needed a 3-hour nap to recover from it.
Wow.
It took me after I'd recovered and was back into school and stuff, any virus or whatnot that was going around, I got it. So yes, I could see that there is a potential for that to have a knock-on effect. I suspect there is a degree of up here going on.
Do you think his head's been turned? Do you think he thinks he's better?
I think his head was turned back. Was it Napoli who all the newspaper links?
In January.
I think possibly coming up last season, probably seen along with Sander and Illiman as the 3 key players. Those 2 leave, he doesn't. Bit like with no chance. Other clubs want me. I'm better than this. And whether he'll admit it to himself, I think that's had quite the effect on his performances this season, because half the time he's looked just off it. I think he's looked a bit better of late, but
yes, I agree. It's picked up a little bit, but still making silly decisions and getting wrong side of his man. Wilder had a pop at him today in presser again. He's not been great. He's not been great, mate. But no, interesting insight that from a man who's had a similar situation. Total reboot needed. Gutless performance, one after another, but team in the Prem much weaker than promoted team. We know whose fault that is, don't we? Says Action Location. Yes, I know whose fault you believe it to be. Absolutely. Alan Brown linked with us, says Jamie. Yes, he has. Preston midfielder. Can do a little bit of everything. Bit of a jack of all trades. I don't mind Alan Brown. He's 29 now, though. Good player. Good championship player. So it won't excite many people to hear that name. But go on then. Let's try this. Something that we're always... Oh, I can hear myself. I'm muting your mic. You're behind. Unbelievable. People are here for the Man Mountain content, and he just cannot provide it, can he? He cannot provide it. Gotta get Zip Mardy Blades layout. Relief to finally end the season, says Mark. One of our Ramblers, I think. No symbol there, but I'm pretty sure you're a Rambler, pal. Tough watch, and sometimes it's been too much to watch for me. Huge summer ahead. Need to build around Hamer and Arblaster. Absolutely right, pal. Chris Wilder gets 12 months before Dirk Kuyt comes in with his sporting director success on the budget with these two. I think that's just polishing off a point you made earlier, FX. If we want to do well next season, we have to buy as much quality as possible. Absolutely we do, mate.
So does everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I see the logic. I see the logic in that. Oh. Right. Talk to me.
Right, sorry, I'll source it.
Do you know what? Where is? I can see you. We can hear you. We can. Where is Rich Gill when you need him? What is going on? Rich, come and sort Paul out with his lighting and his mic. It's ridiculous. He's got one last chance and then he's going to
hear him now.
I know I've muted him. That's why we're talking. Go on, mate. Can you hear us? Are we in real time?
Yes, I think we are in real time. And I think you can hear me.
We are here.
Yes, we can hear you. Thank God for that. Yeah. I'll just read Hugh's comment out because I've got it on screen. You know what's coming, Jimmy? If we haven't signed 20 players by next Thursday, some fans will have a meltdown. That's pretty much what Dave was saying earlier. Let's all just breathe. Well said, Hugh. Well said. Man Mountain, you have a strong point you would like to make. I'm all here for it.
Yeah, today, me and the Ronster, we've lost our faith today.
What? On the last hurdle?
Mate, it was
Ronnie, come on.
It was incredible. Obviously, the refereeing decision to give the red to give a red card to a player, you've got to be sure, haven't you? For me, you've got to be sure.
You have, of course, you have.
If you're going to give a red card, you've got to be absolutely bang on sure. And that today, I'm sorry if it's your pal Jim. That is a full disgrace. That I was mortified during the match. I literally could not get over the idea that a ref has given a red card basically because he thought something had happened. That is
wrong.
It is. It's poor. It's poor on it. Very poor. What I don't understand is when he knows that it's then simulation from Son, how does Son not escape with no penalty? No yellow card. I just didn't understand it at all, mate. Did not understand it. So when you say you've lost all faith, you don't mean in the team or the manager. Well, the team's a different kettle of fish, but with the manager, or do you? Is that what you mean?
Today was difficult. I think I've got to go in on Cam Archer.
How did he not score?
Sorry, we just left them. No, we didn't. I cut you off.
Mate, honestly, I turned to Ronnie was there with it, and he brought his pal today, Oscar, and I said, Oscar, I back you 8 times out of 10 to score that goal. And
no, are we not going in on Brereton Diaz then for that miss at near post first half and Ronnie's shaking head behind.
Well, I'll be honest.
Well, that first one.
Yeah.
That's a lack of, that is a bit of a lack of quality, I have to say, at that level. Teams would score that against us 9 times out of 10 in the Premier League, 100%. But Archer going through 1-on-1 the way he did, the way he narrowed the angle, took it on his wrong foot. I thought that is criminal. That is a striker.
You've made
bread and butter. I could not get over that.
You've made me wait 20 minutes of trying to get your connection sorted for you to slate my star man. That's what you're coming on to do.
Jim, I'll be honest with you. I was mortified with today, and the way we went out without a whimper. Oh God, it was hard watch. It was an hard watch today. It was really, really difficult. And the second half, I think I had my head in my hands more than I was watching the game today. It was really upsetting today.
It was a typical post-season friendly, weren't it? You know what I mean? It had that vibe of nobody's bothered. We're going through motions, and it was so disappointing in that regard.
The teams that don't have to do anything, Spurs had to do nothing today.
They still got 3 goals.
They got 3 goals. They did nothing. Not one of them played well. I don't think one Spurs player could hold his hand up and say, I had a right game today. And they've turned us over so easily. It was really upsetting today for me. I mean,
do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mix this up a little bit because we've not... We're nearly like over for the 90 after 90. Obviously, this is the 3 Mardy Blades getting together. For those of you that don't know, we've got Rambler exclusive content that we do as a 3. We'll do like quizzes and top 10s and stuff like that all together, and you get that content if you're a Rambler. So this is probably a little bit of a snippet as to how we all gel together and have a bit of a crack. So I'm going to continue reading. I'm going to ask for no more calls from anybody else. I'm going to continue reading through the comments because I'm an hour behind the comments and I want to get through everybody's comment. But we can all, if you have anything you want to say on any of these comments, just jump in and let me know. You included, Ron. You're the 4th Mardy Blade. We keep Blaster and Hamer. We'll be more than okay, says Rob. Chirac says he will sell out of any value, pocket the cash, and bring in complete trash. Shout out to Chirac, one of our favourite trolls. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, says Phil. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Lucas says, thank you, Jimmy, for all the streams this season. Can't wait for the transfer streams. Up the Ramble. Thank you very much, mate. Bri, well, that's that. Thanks, Jimmy, for this channel and what you do. Football aside, I hope the guy in front of me in the copy's okay. Absolutely right. Wasn't nice. Up the blades, up the ramble to everyone. Enjoy your summer. Thank you, Bri. Very much appreciated, mate. For as far back as I can remember, United always think money and sell our best players. I hope it's going to change up the ramble. It's not going to change, Andrew, I'm afraid, my friend. We are a self-sustaining club.
By the worst.
Wow.
Weird. Me and Ron had a bit of a. We had someone tell us that Blaster has already agreed to sign for Manchester United for £25 million.
Well, I've heard Everton, I've heard abroad, I've heard all sorts of things. Blaster's notes agreed with Blaster. No, he's got a contract with us.
Loan back is what I've heard.
No, I've heard Villa, I've heard Everton, I've heard now Man U, Newcastle. I heard earlier in the week. There's loads of clubs talking about Ollie Blaster, and why wouldn't you? Because he's a great player, and he's going to be an even better player. But he's
not been Man U. Not been Man U. Their priorities lie elsewhere, and they've got FFP restrictions, so it's not be them.
No danger. Well, I'm not scared. I don't think he'll go at me personally. I hope I'm right, but we'll see. We'll see. David Vinter. Only positive this year is the many away games. Well, the beers, the away fans were tremendous. Absolutely right. Shout out to the away fans. Yeah. Need to take that atmosphere into the home games next season. Up the blades, up the ramble. I thought the home atmosphere was very good today. I'm a big critic of it being a little bit like a library at times, but I thought we were good today in terms of keeping the noise levels when we were very poor on the pitch. Happy birthday, Ollie. That shows how far back behind we are. That's our first caller getting a happy birthday. Wow, let's speed this up. Leicester being linked to Hamer. Leicester will be linked to everybody. I'm not bothered about Leicester. Look, Hamer's got a release clause, so if somebody matches it, he'll talk to him. All I'm going to say is thank God that's over. Up the blades, up the ramble. Like and subscribe. Sorry, Ronnie, what were you saying, mate?
How much is the release clause?
Don't know, mate. Don't know.
15 to 20, we think, don't we?
Yeah, probably bang it middle somewhere. I don't see the point in changing the manager until he's been given a chance to create the squad he wants. I agree, Pablo. Whoever came in would be working on the same budget. I'm not reading out all Chirac's comments. Come on, Ian and Scotty, get to work. Arblaster hardly a match winner, and the Archer arrows back to Villa. Yeah. You're not a big fan of Arblaster, are you, fatty folk? I don't get why. I don't get why you wouldn't want to champion one of our own. If it's just an assessment on ability, that's absolutely fine. But I don't see why you can't get excited about him personally. I think he were again another huge positive for us today. You mean to tell me that Sheffield United couldn't outmuscle Stoke City for Victor Johansson, given that the Blades are in a better financial position than Stoke to pay the $1 million for him? No, not that we couldn't, just that we chose not to. That's the situation that we didn't. We chose not to do it. So, whether I don't agree with that, by the way. I think we should have pushed the boat out. But if his rumoured wages are to be believed, then it's a little bit ridiculous. Ironic that players coming back on the last game, something not quite right at Bramall Lane. Okay, how do you mean, John? Give us a bit more context to that, mate, if you would. Why are we having people calling who haven't been bothered to watch the game? I'm a season ticket holder who lives in Sweden. I was there every week. Not interested in glory seekers, mate. Get Blades on. Well, we've got 2 Blades who've been to the game today. FX. Everybody is entitled to come on and have their say whether they've been to the game or not. Some people
glory seekers. Glory seekers.
It's certainly not glory seeking. I understand what you're saying. They like being on and having their say, but that option is available to everybody, pal. And there's certainly not glory seekers being Blades. I know what you're saying, but wrong terminology for me. David Morwood, thank you very much for the kind donation, mate. Very much appreciated from one of our Platinum Ramblers. Should let Wilder go tonight, says Chris the Blade. Surely there's better managers out there. No, there's not better managers out there. Of course there are. Listen, it's what suits your club, though, in my estimation. Some people will be an advocate of a change. Dave said it's not changing, so there's no point sort of dwelling on it. Ronnie, would you change Chris Wilder? No? Mr. Mountain?
Daddy is crossing over to the dark side, mate. I'm telling you, today today for me, you can shake your head, but today was poor.
I will. I'll shake away.
Today were poor. I love Chris Wilder. You know that. But today, I am struggling with what happened today. I'm struggling with the lack of fight today. Really am.
Dave Morwood's had the same stick as me. You love United more than me. And his reply was, I love the other lot more than you. Probably explains why she's not. Nice. Wilder should stay, says William. I'm moving past these quickly now. Right. One crying need for United is discipline, says Peter. We have had so many players booked or sent off needlessly, and it costs us dearly in the end. We have not battled, but besides lack of spirit, World War III. Yeah, I agree with the sentiment of we need more discipline and we need more fight in the players. Absolutely right. Mr. V, another one of our ramblers. Thank God it's over now. I can enjoy my summer days on the beach, watching the Ramble and dreaming of winning again next season. Can you imagine? We're going to win a game next season. I'm confident of it. Up the Ramble, up the Blades. Like and subscribe. Come on, you Blades. Come on. Billionaires don't get rich by overpaying for an asset. Only a fool pays 150 million for something worth 90. Paul, who says it's 150 million quid to buy this club? It might be 90 million. Saying that to someone complaining about the price just can't afford it is second-rate sales. So that's responding to Steve's comment about the price, really, and the assets that the club's involved. We don't know the price. That's the thing. It's rumoured. I've heard 150. I've heard 90. Rumoured also all over the place. We don't know. We don't know what Prince is asking for the club, so we can't say whether it's too expensive or not. Can't really say we put off the rebuild when we found ourselves under a transfer embargo. Now the rebuild starts at ground zero. Selling Hammer or Blaster would put us in underground basement. Wilder has until Christmas as action location.
That's fair.
Cooper at Plymouth. Why is he not being signed? Because he were rumoured to be going to Celtic for 8 million quid. That's why. That was the talk of the town. We have to move to a 4, says Chris. I reckon a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3. Are you an advocate of a change, Man Mountain? I know we talked to Dave about it earlier.
100%, yeah. I've said it before, haven't I? I think there's not many teams that don't go with 4-3-3. I almost think we do to an extent when we're trying to press. But we need some wing. We need some flyers, mate. We need some pace. We've been lacking pace. I mean, I can't remember the last. Can you remember the last time we had somebody really fast down the wing?
Ollie Burke. Moving on. Chris's post-match presser was revealing. He said that some of the current squad could not be coached and will be moved on. If Chris can bring players in that he can mould, then we have a chance. He started going in on him, Auntie, let's be right. I could almost smell George's sweet aroma at the back of the cup today, David Leary.
That's my dad, not me. Just for reference.
David Leary, okay. To be fair, Steve's right about loyalty system. Points should have last 5 years max. Too many people with lots of points disappeared in League One and then came back when the good times came back. That's fair. Oh, I've accidentally clicked on a Chirac comment. Can't wait to see the lineup next season. I think some deluded fans are going to be a little puzzled. Dear me, puzzled. How much do the Blades get in parachute payments over 2 seasons, Paul?
I think it's about 45 the first, isn't it? And then it goes down to about 30 the second, something like that.
No idea, mate. No idea, but thank you.
Absolutely
I assume you'll be the stat man. Dave, do you know?
No, Scooby-Doo.
No, me neither.
I think it's something like that. It's something like that.
When does the championship fixture list drop for 24-25? It's 26th of June, is it?
Yeah, something like that.
Can't wait for next season. This season has cost me $3,000 per win. TC Suite season ticket holder, but living in Sweden. Got to be a much better price per win ratio next time out. You know, if you can never use your ticket FX, I'm always here, mate, if you need someone to use that ticket for you. So you just let me know. Oh, Simon Gregson's the guy from Corrie, not Simon Gregory. So I've been calling Simon Gregory our new Rambler, Steve McDonald, for no reason. Okay, yeah, I knew I got it wrong slightly, but thank you, mate. Looking forward to next season. Just hope we don't get promoted to this league again for at least 4 seasons or until we're genuinely good enough to play in this league. I understand the thought process behind it, Chris, but if we stay in the championship for 4 seasons, we will be QPR.
I get where he's coming from.
I do. It's not enjoyable, is it, being in Prem, but it's a necessity. So I get it.
I think half the battle is we have to go up with a team that we believe can do something. We have to go up with a load of young players that are good enough for the level, and and we need to stumble across them a little bit. I just feel like it's a fair shout. It's a fair shout. If we don't go up with some momentum, like when we went up and finished 9th, we went up with a team we really believed in, and they believed in themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And they had a method. There was a way of playing, and all those things. Like when we went up last time, and then you lose your two, like maybe Berger wasn't our second best player, but he was pretty bloody close, and you lose them both. Nobody went up with any belief.
Deflated us before we got even off and rolling, didn't it? Yeah.
No, you've got to believe. You've got to believe you're going to survive at the end of the day, and none of them did. I don't believe any of them believed it. Sure. And the first season they went up, they did. They believed it. We spent a bit of money. We bought a few bits and bobs to add to what we had. But we just need to, like you say, with the rebuild, it is a rebuild. We have to establish an identity again, a way of playing. Because if we go way out it, it'll be the same thing again. It'll be nowadays. From now on, I can't see the three that come up unless they've really, really spent, or unless they've really got a method. They're not going to survive.
Chris Fisher's just said the same thing. Can see the 3 promoted teams coming straight back down as the gap is too big now. It's going to get, and then the Premier League have to start looking at it, don't they? Surely at some stage. It's just too big. Michael Brown, Jimmy, do you eventually want to make the Blades Ramble podcast as your primary source of income? Mate, that is the dream. That is the dream. But that I always think with, and I don't want to limit myself ever, but I always think we've got a bit of a ceiling as a fan base because there's only so many Blades out there. But we'll see, because things are going from strength to strength, and we are progressing really well, and that's off the back of people like Platinum Ramblers that are here with me now, and people like Nick, who donate such generous amounts of money to keep the Ramble going. I don't take a penny out of the Ramble currently, so that would mean me obviously taking a wage and things like that. But any sponsors that want to get involved, you're more than welcome. You bladesramble@gmail.com. But thank you for asking, Michael. Ryan, one of our Platinum Ramblers, says, so when our return list comes out on Tuesday, does that mean no more offers will be given? So like McBurney, etc., or it just say they've been offered a new contract? Well, if you look at the return lists that have come out so far, right, it is we're still negotiating with X and Y. So I assume, and it's only an assumption, if we've not agreed contracts with certain players and we still want to keep them, unless Wilder's given them a cut-off date, there may well be that sort of information included. So I'm expecting people like Adam Davis, Jordan Amissa to go, but I'm expecting a decision on McBurney either way, but it might just be we're still negotiating with Ellie McBurney. If we do get a promotion next year, we'll still struggle if we don't have sufficient funds. We all want us to do well, but I fear the gap between the Prem and the Championship has become too great. I agree, TC. It has. Jimmy, what plans do you have for your podcast going forward? Any new content? Yeah, we've got loads of plans for new content. We're going to be doing watch-alongs next year, which Man Mountain himself's just given me an idea about today, which I think is really good. So I'll be attending all the home games and doing something similar to this afterwards. We'll be doing a watch-along for the away games. There's other content that, like, Dave's put into my mind when we got together earlier in the week. I'm open to content ideas of what people want to see. The best thing about this channel is the community that we've created, and that's all of us together. So it's a bit of a collaborative effort. If people want to see a certain type of content, then we will certainly consider whatever you want to do going forward. FX says, Jimmy, thanks for the best Blades channel on YouTube. Thank you, mate. Have a great summer and keep us going with content when you can. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Thank you, mate. That's a lovely thing to say. Very much appreciated. If we can't sell garbage, he will at least be loaned out to get his wages off the books. Disappointed about Victor and shocked we've been linked with a Sunderland lad for 8 to 10 mil. So am I, pal. So am I. Is John Egan staying? What did he say to us, Dave? You remember?
That's the plan.
That's the plan. That's
my worst Irish accent ever, by the way. That's the plan.
Thanks for all the support. We really appreciate it. That's what he said. And that Leprechaun stood next to him, I think, and then he agreed. The season is over. Disappointing, but let's look forward to give Wilder until Christmas and see where we are. That's the plan. If we can keep some of the younger ones and add some experience. I agree, Keith. Yeah, I agree. It's been very disappointing, but you've got to give him till at least Christmas in mind. there's still some comments about Ollie here that I'm going to have to skip over. Bash is moving home to Newcastle. Yes, I heard the same. Dave will be known as the sniffer from now on.
I've been called worse.
Well, yeah, I'm up for that. Slav Paul says, thank God that's now done with. Hope Chris gets what we need to rebuild and get back to a side that's not ridiculed every week. Dave's criteria. How do you smell? I had to laugh. So this is one at 3 Mardy Blades that we did some time ago now, actually. I had to laugh at Dave's free team. Don't Google it. Don't Google it. Mr. Vancouver, cheer out. You're a complete idiot. Oh, I can't get into that. Thank you, though, Mr. V, for standing up for the channel. Love that. Alessandro says, Burrows is a free agent. 1 or 2 of Ronnie Edwards, Cashin or Ferguson. Some midfield depth, Sorensen, Mowat, Brownhill and O'Hare, and around some of those who will stay with you. Yeah, I can't go into all those now, Alessandro. I am miles behind, and we're 145 in. So there'll be loads to come on stuff like that, though, mate. So thank you for chucking some decent names in there. Why is Wilder after these 2-bit players such as Worrell O'Brien? Phillips from Spurs, age 20 defender. We're struggling championship big time. Sack Wilder, useless. Get new manager with fresh ideas. I'll tell you what, if we get Worrell O'Brien and it's Ash Phillips into it, well, I'm not 100% on because I haven't done enough research into him, to be fair. But Worrell and O'Brien would be great signings for us. O'Brien in that midfield with Arblaster and Hamer, and Worrell at the back with John Egan. I'm sorry, I disagree, Andy.
I've got to ask Andy, right, what if we got them 3, that'd be a right cue, to be honest. Who is Andy after? Who does he think that we are realistically signing this pre-season?
I don't know. It's a fair question. I'd like to know, I know if Wilder's going to be sacked, who comes in. I think that's sort of been pushed a little bit because Rossini is now on the market into a decent manager. But yeah, I don't get that, mate. It's not. I'm not in agreement with that. Agree we held on to players for too long. Norwood's legs have gone. Fleck eventually went to Blackburn, was on the pitch for 5 minutes and never played again. If only we'd replaced them last year. Absolutely right. Hi, Michael. Now is the time to get shut of wasters, starting with McBurney. Dad? Trusty, Brewster, Sousa, LaRucci, and only keep Osborne as squad filler. Yeah, maybe.
Roughly.
Trusty McBurney.
Roughly's going in rough there. That's ours, isn't it? Wasters.
Well, it's strong opinions. People like McBurney force strong opinions, don't they? But Trusty has just been so disappointing. Oh, Andy Wright's gone in on us a little bit, actually. I'll leave that. I'll leave that comment. Paul says it's 245 quid a bottle from Selfridges. Stick to the brute, 33. 33. Don't know. That's how bad I am. So that's on about what were George's aftershave called?
It's from one Maison Francoise Curjon. I don't know the one it is.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know which type, do we? But we know that's the brand. Why is it dark where you are, Jimmy, but light where Paul is? It's lights behind it. I think you mean Jez when you were in car coming home, don't you? So Peterborough, aren't you, Paul?
Yeah, down the A1, mate, Stamford. Down there, yeah.
There you go. How much is the fitness lesson, Jimmy? Hey, you'll have to go through and find out. Speak to Stevie Boy. He's putting on a hell of a deal, though, I have to say. Gabe, good evening, pal. One of our second ever Rambler, Gabe. Not entirely convinced about Wilder, but I'm open to giving him the first bit of the season. I get that. That's okay. Okay. Sam Jenkins says we have to forget about this season, bring the right players and have a good season next year. Absolutely right. We need to use the parachute money, the 42 million we get from one season in the Prem. So you're very close then, Paul. Good shout. Anonymous Bob is a new Rambler. Welcome to the team, pal, and thank you for your support. Very much appreciated. William, good evening, mate. Late to this, Jimbo, but just want to say it'll be right. Keep the faith. Judge it after the window. End of. Up the blades, up the ramble. Top Rambler is Billy. Evening, pal. Up the blades, up the ramble. Like and subscribe. Bring on the rebuild. Thank you, Wayne. Sorry for the repeat. I deleted message 1, but it stayed in the system. Don't worry about that, mate. Gaz done. Hi, mate. Hope you've all been well. Currently on a coach back in Germany. A few weeks till home. Catching up with all the performances. And, of course, Blades Ramble. Up the ramble. Top man. Platinum Rambler, Gaz, serving our country. Thank you for your service, pal. Billy says, talk about the opposite of glory seekers. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was sat next to some blokes with London accents today in Sheffield United shirts, didn't sing Greasy Chip Butty and knew every Spurs player's names. Funny that. Funny. Was it bad today, lads, says Gaz. I hope we've answered that question for you, Gaz. Yeah, it weren't great, mate. It weren't great. Last thing, in Wilder's match notes, he said, we will try to win matches next season, which made me chuckle, as though I've not really been trying this season. Bless him. Yeah, I think we've got the... Yeah, fair, Billy, fair. We're nearly at the end now, lads. We're catching up to some of these comments. Glory Seekers wanting to be live on the Ramble, not fans who've been at the game. Chuffing hell. Yeah, fair dues, FX, and thanks for coming back to us on that, pal. Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Up the blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Jez says, any news on the takeover? Nothing, but people seem to think it's overpriced, Jez, without knowing the price. Which, you know, it's... I understand it's frustrating that there's not a lot of, you know, visual movement on it, but we don't know, do we? There might be talks going on all the time. He's not... Prince Abdullah's not forced to let me know as soon as he gets a call about taking over the club. Evening, Jimmy. I had that comment, you love United more than you love me. There'll be a few of us who've had that, I think, in the past. My reply of, I love piggies more than you. So if you're watching ex-missus, we've just had that, LA Blades. We've just had that joke, but fair play. We always knew it would be hard this season, says Gaz. And yes, harder than we thought. But with Wilder getting the right type of players in who we can coach and compete next season, pre-season work is key. Yeah, we're a shambles pre-season last year, weren't it? Who do you think will be promoted to the Premier League, Leeds or Southampton? I hope Southampton so we can play against Leeds next season, Jim. I hope the opposite, Josh, really. I don't want to play against Leeds because it's a little bit like the local derby for me in terms of when we play Wednesday. The thought of losing is just something that doesn't jive with me at all. But hearing that Leeds are going to be under significant financial pressure, that's likely due to FFP rather than ownership, because ownership have got bags of cash. But yeah, that made me feel a little bit better. So come on, you Saints, is all I'd have to say about that. Jimmy, if you fancy being our guest in the TC suite, just let me know and we'll sort it. Cheers, mate. See you, Dad. Who would leave me like that for an offer like that, by the way. No, top man, FX. Thank you, mate. I'll see you next season. Can mods not just block Chirac? Blokes, a fruitcake, just here to annoy people, and it's boring. Look, I like to try and give everybody their own say. And you know, there's no rule that you can't disagree with what we say, or you. It's all about your own opinion. It's just how you deliver it. So if you continue being a bit of a numpty about it, then yeah, we'll have to block you again. But just try to keep it. It's fine to go completely opposite of what we're saying and disagree with ownership and manager, and that's all fine. It's just the way of doing it. Chris says, I have to say, at times this season, I've wanted to support my brother and Nan's team Rangers or my granddad's team Liverpool, but supporting the Blades is addictive. Yeah, that's one word for it. It's enjoyable and as hell all in one. Oh, enjoyable and hell all in one. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's never boring, mate, is what we're saying to it. Never boring being a Blade. You know, you get your team, and I usually use Crystal Palace as this example, but they've done really well recently. But you get your teams that are just boring, like a bland Premier League team that just finishes like 10th or 11th every year. Give me Blades every time. Mr. V, thank you, pal. I want to thank you, Jimmy, for all your dedication to the Blades and development on this channel. Come on, you Blades. Thank you, Mr. V. That's very kind, mate. Hope you're well. Podcast, Jimmy, it'd be a great way of getting content to people. Defo now I'm on my way back. Happy to help. Thank you, mate. Yeah, we're looking at moving into the podcast space next season. I'm also putting a bit of pressure on myself by sort of announcing that, but it will be rambles like we're doing now, but you'll be able to get it in audio form, which we haven't been able to do previously. But obviously we're looking to expand the content and the ways people can interact with us and stuff. So yeah, look out for that coming soon. Paul says Luton scored 52 goals and still got relegated. We finished 9th, scoring 39. Why? We only conceded 39. Survival in the Prem depends on a solid defence. Come on, Chris, build that wall. Up the Blades. Love that, Paul, and completely agree. Completely agree, which is why we're disappointed we didn't go for Victor Johansson. And I'm not saying he's going to be an established Premier League keeper, but he is a solid 25-year-old goalkeeper, proven in the Championship that you can be confident that your position's sorted then. For the next 4 or 5 years, your position is sorted. It's not something we have to worry about getting in quality loans every year. So swings and roundabouts to it.
Wilder clearly didn't fancy him, did he?
He clearly didn't. And I have to say, fair enough, because he may well bring in a better goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? He did it with Henderson, didn't he? So it's, in Wilder.
I think it's one of them you have to watch the space, don't you? You have to see, because if we bring in another numpty like Gerbich, then everybody goes, "Oh, Victor was the one." But it has to be about what happens next. You know, there's lots of better goalkeepers than Janssen out there. It's just whether we can afford to get them. And I think this Patterson thing's an absolute
red
joke.
herring.
If we're going to spend $8 million on a goalkeeper, it's not happening.
No, I don't think so. Anyway, I'm going to call it next year. Brewster comes alive, says Rye. Good run of games and some goals. Top scorer next year. Wow, that is confidence that I don't have. John says, "Oh, we're not going to be another Watford." No, we won't be. We won't be anything like Watford, John. You mean in turning managers over and stuff? No chance. No chance. We're not that sort of club. I'd give Brewster till Christmas. If he isn't scoring, then offload him in the new year with 89 games, 16 goals. In New Year, he'll have 6 months left on his contract, so we won't get much for him, if anything at all, to be honest. Chris says, "Thanks for the content, Jimmy. Thank you for watching, mate. Thank you for watching." Yeah, rest in peace, Chico Hamilton. Ian Hamilton's passed away. It's just come up while I've been live. So, yes, commiserations to the family and friends of Ian Hamilton, centre midfielder for United. Scottish, am I right? I might be wrong there. That's really bad to shout that out. Dave, you're nodding. Thank you for being along with me, but I hope that's right.
Respect
before my time, obviously. Okay, Scott's had Chirac sat in the timeout corner for the last 15 minutes. Appreciate that, Scott. My point earlier is that rich men don't overpay. Steve was trying to say that if someone queries the asking price, they can't afford it, which is naive. Someone will buy the club eventually. Yeah, they will, pal. They will. And I understand that there's differing points on how to do business, isn't there? But Gaz agrees with Rye. There's a player in Brewster, and Rye finishes us off tonight with the last comment that we're going to read. Says Brewster just needs luck, in my opinion, with injuries, and I think he'll come good. Never wanted any Blades player to succeed more than him. He's a very, very likeable character in Rye. I understand that, and we do want him to come good. I'm just not so sure. Well, yeah, if he can get a run of games and stay fit, which has been his problem all the way through, then he's every chance of having a decent season. But there we go. So, lads, thank you for this impromptu 90 after 90. It's not quite an end of season review, but it's nice to finish on last 90 after 90 at season with you both. Thank you for your support this season and always. And I look forward to
something positive to finish.
Of course you can, mate. Yeah.
So it's not really relating to on the pitch stuff, but for anybody who's thought about coming along to Triple Point before the game and maybe coming on their own, never have been before, a bit nervous, anxious, whatever, I'd just like them to know that it's probably the most welcoming space that you could ever come into. My lad's 9, doesn't always like meeting new people, and even he is absolutely kind of beside himself if we can't make it. So please don't think there's any judgment or you'll not fit in or anything like that. Come along, say hello. It's a great thing to be part of.
Love that, mate. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it.
Dave, that is unreal quality. The kids today, all 3 of them today, all just sat there, best mates straight away and stuff. And like you say, we even had. Am I allowed to say that?
Of course you can. Of course you can.
We met up. England Nick was there today from the Sheffield United way, and we had it was just seamless. It was really, really nice day today. We were there an hour and a half before the game. The time just flew. Everybody was just chatting, like getting on really, really well, and it was just magic. It adds a brand new dimension to me. I catch up with family when I go to the Blades games, but to go there now, we look forward to it way more than the football this season. fingers crossed, we got some good games to look forward to next year, and yeah, in Chris we trust that we're going to have a good season, but yeah, it is just magic. It is brilliant. There's 15 guys there, or maybe 10, 15, who just straight away high fives, handshakes. How's it going? Like we're all in it together, and it's
supportive group, innit? Yeah, it's the thing we're most proud of.
It's absolutely spot on what Dave said. Incredible. Yeah, spot on.
Love that, lads. Love that. Love the positivity, and we'll certainly be. It'll be one of the main traditions we want to continue next season. Whether it's at Triple Point or another venue, maybe, who knows? It depends.
Or some lucrative sponsors coming on board.
Well, you know, I'm just saying. You know, this could happen.
Maybe somewhere else. I don't know.
Right. So that's us done. 2 hours in. So for now, come on, you red and white wizards.
All the blades.
The blades.